Is expected to be formally announced this morning by Travis County District Attorney Margaret Moore in a long-running case involving allegations of satanic abuse of children by owners of an Austin daycare.
Tony Plahetsky has been following this development, has a preview on the latest in this case. This is big news, Tony.
So Fran and Dan Keller operated a daycare in their home, Brian and Yvonne, in the early 1990s. They were convicted of sexually abusing a girl and performing all kinds of rituals on children they cared for, including serving them Kool-Aid with blood in it. They served 22 years in prison for child sexual abuse, but today the DA says she will file paperwork closing the case and that Fran and Dan Keller are actually innocent. The state's highest criminal court has already overturned their convictions. That happened 2 years ago, and the Kellers have been free on bond. Today's action by the DA will close this whole chapter, and it will mean that the Kellers will be able to apply for $80,000 a year in compensation to people who have been wrongfully convicted. The case crumbled after a doctor who examined a girl for sexual abuse stepped forward years later and acknowledged that he had misdiagnosed her. The entire criminal case against the Kellers was built around his testimony. Now, in a statement, DA Moore says, quote, "No credible evidence exists that inculpates the defendants, and I believe the defendants are actually innocent for the crime for which each was sentenced." Now, Dan and Fran Keller are described to me as old and frail and destitute, but as you can imagine, Brian and Yvonne, this is a day that they have been waiting really years for. As you can imagine, we will be reaching out to them throughout today and hope to have more for you on KVUE News at 5 and 6.
Finally, vindication.
It's been a long time coming, no doubt. And it brings to mind a similar case in that someone has been in prison in Williamson County for a conviction which they're now re-examining. And there is a connection between the Kellers case and that case of Greg Kelly.
That's right. So Keith Hampton is a local attorney, a local appellate attorney who has done a lot of work really over the course of many years on the Keller case. He is now representing Greg Kelly, who was convicted a couple of years ago, several years ago, in a child sexual abuse case, which, as you mentioned, is now under question itself. And of course, a story that we've been following for the past month here and will continue to follow. But again, the big news today, Fran and Dan Keller, those charges being officially dropped against them, and the DA saying that she believes that they meet the legal standard to be declared actually innocent.
20 years in the making, this case, right?
25.
25,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a quarter century.
Great work, Tony. Thanks for being here this morning.
You bet.
Well, airlines are testing new technology